So it's just over a week before Christmas and you haven't purchased a gift for the AI interested tech geek in the house? Well, I have two choices for you. Number one is Ray-Bans by Meta, and number two is Apple AirPods G4 with active noise cancellation. Which one should you get and why? Well, let's take a look. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. Since I wear glasses for my episodes anyway, I thought I would demo the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which are actually very cool. I think they look pretty nice. They're not too heavy. They're a little bit heavier than normal glasses, of course. And if you don't know, I actually wear my regular glasses that I wear are Ray-Bans. Those, of course, are prescription glasses. These are not, although the people at Sunglass Hut said that you can put prescription lenses in these, but I figure that probably these things will be supplanted in a year or 18 months, so it's probably not worth doing that. But the cool part is when I went to Sunglass Hut to look at these things on Black Friday, and I've been wearing them for a couple of weeks so that I would have a good sense of it so I could give you a good review. And I've also had these AirPods G4 since about the same time as well, within a day or two of each other, which of course is why I thought about reviewing them together. They have really interesting overlapping features and also significant differences. So anyway, the problem that the early reviewers said was that these glasses were only sunglasses and you couldn't wear them in the house. Well, as it turned out, when I went in there, they have transition lens glasses. So these are transitions, and these are actually pretty effective transition lenses. They turn a nice dark green. I will show you a picture of it that I took outdoors. Obviously, I'm indoors. Interestingly enough, I think that these lights are casting enough UV light that there's a very little bit of transition going on. It looks like they've sort of turned green as I've been talking myself, but it's light enough that I don't notice. But anyway, they're a very, very clear, transparent when they are not in UV light, and they're a nice dark green when they're in UV. They're a little bit less effective when you're driving because, of course, the windshield blocks a lot of the UV light, so it doesn't transition quite as dark when you're driving, but they're pretty darn effective, and it means you can pretty much wear these all the time. So that's actually very cool. And of course, while we're at it, let's talk about the AirPods G4 with active noise cancellation. So you can see them in my ears. They look very similar to the Generation 3 AirPods, which I will show right here. You can see that the case is slightly different size. I'll show a still frame picture here so you can see it a little bit better. One big change that's been made is that they actually have little holes at the bottom. There's a speaker down here, so it can actually make noise, because one of the problems is it's very easy to lose these things around the house or someplace. And so if you're nearby, you can use the Find My feature with your iPhone and bleep a noise, right? So you can hear it and it will actually play a little noise. It actually plays a noise when you set it up to charge as well. Of course, this has wireless charging, also has USB-C, nice upgrade to the Lightning in the Gen 3 AirPods. Let's see if you can hear this. A lot of the problem with reviewing these things is it's going to be very difficult to replicate the experience. So part of this is just going to be me telling you about it, but let's see if this will ding when I put it on the wireless charger. Yeah, I don't know if you could hear that, but it made a little ding sound. So that's actually very, very cool. So anyway, I have odd shaped ears. Apparently, I never knew till I had these in-ear things a few years back. But so they tend to stick out instead of pointing straight down. They tend to stick out, but they're super, super comfortable. I'm going to show you a comparison of the two. So this is the Gen 3 headphones, and I will pull out my Gen 4 headphones. So you can see them next to each other. They're very similar. The Gen 4 are a little bit more, just slightly more square shaped than the Gen 3, and they are slightly shorter. There's very little difference in them. The big difference, of course, and certainly if you have a Gen 3 and you're going to get the non-active noise canceling version of these headphones, I wouldn't recommend it. There's no sense in upgrading. But for folks who have to deal with very noisy environments, the active noise cancellation on these is quite good. I mean, again, these don't have rubber stoppers, right? They're just they just fit in your ear. But the active noise cancellation is quite excellent. I've taken them on 2, and very shortly, as in a couple of hours from now, 3 airplane flights, and they are really, really good at knocking out the background sound of airplanes. I wear them to the gym all the time, and they're really good at knocking out all the background sound, the music that plays, the clanking of weights, all of that kind of stuff. So they're really good. I mean, the active noise cancellation is excellent on the AirPods G4, with the downside that active noise cancellation reduces battery life significantly. So I flew back and forth to California, and that's about a 4.5 hour flight, depending on which direction. I had to charge the AirPods G4 once during each trip, so it lasts about 2.5 hours before it gets down to 10% and you have to recharge it. So if you don't know, the microphone in these headsets is listening to the ambient environment. So it's listening to what's going on. It's listening to the noise that a jet plane causes, or a gym, you know, all that ambient noise and everything, or traffic if you're in New York City or something like that. It listens to that, and then it 180 degree out of phases that sound and replays that sound sound in your ear. And of course, since waves cancel each other, if you get a peak here and a trough here, they tend to average to 0, which means you can cancel out the amount of noise that you're hearing. But what that means is even if the earphones are just in your ears and you're not playing music, they're actually playing music. They're playing all of the sounds that you hear just 180 degrees out of phase. So they're being very, I mean, it's active noise cancellation. Active is in the name. They're actually playing a sound constantly, which means that they wear themselves out much more quickly than if you have active noise cancellation turned off. Right now, I have this in transparency mode, which actually is really cool because it allows me to hear the environment very, very well. And then you can just sort of turn it to neutral mode, which is more or less like what we had with the AirPods G3, which is just however much sound gets in, it gets in. And of course, for the AI focused, it's connected to your iPhone. So you can say, hey Siri, what is the weather in San Diego, California tomorrow?
Expect some clear skies in San Diego, California tomorrow.
And of course, it's having trouble with the connection. Siri is pretty bad. Okay, so that's actually a downside for the AI use of this. So these headphones, advantages, active noise cancellation is amazing. It's really, really good. You don't have to listen to things as loud as you used to have to, which means it saves your ears. Because you're getting active noise cancellation, you can reduce the amount of volume so you don't have to listen to it as loud. If you want to listen to it as loud, it works really, really well. They're quite effective. They're very, very full. I mean, they have a really nice bass. They feel like they're very much larger headphones than they actually are. Pretty amazing work that Apple has been able to do. The play a sound feature is really nice if you lose them locally, at least. I mean, it's also got Find My, so it will get you close to the area. And then of course you can play the sound. USB-C is really, really nice as opposed to having Lightning, because now you can get rid of that Lightning cable if you have an iPhone 15 or 16 and just standardize on one connector. Of course, it uses wireless charging, which is what I generally use. I just stick it on a pad and let it charge up overnight. But the G3 AirPods used to have that as well. Also, the fact that it's a little bit smaller, and again, it doesn't look that much smaller, but it actually is. So I don't know. Again, I'll put a picture up, but you can see it's significantly larger. The G3s are bigger. The battery pack that it comes in, the case that it comes in. So, you know, again, they're reducing the size. It seems to have the same amount of battery power in this container that the old one used to have. So it'll charge it up several times. Very, very nice. But again, if it weren't for the active noise cancellation, I wouldn't bother getting G4 AirPods. But certainly if you have generation 1 or 2, this would be fantastic. The AI support isn't the greatest because, of course, the Hey Siri, I don't find the new Hey Siri that good, right? Apple keeps touting the Apple Intelligence and all that stuff. And I'm like, I think it's actually gotten worse than it used to be. Used to be better. But anyway, hopefully in the next couple of months, it will improve and you'll be able to use the Apple Intelligence with these headphones. That would be really lovely. And as for the price, these are $180. You can get them at the Apple Store. You can just walk right in and get them. Like I said, I was going to give you a couple of gift ideas that you could pick up right now before Christmas and not worry about it. If you want to order on Amazon, I will leave a link to both of these products in the description. So you can just click that and you can order them and you will get your Christmas present. I'm sure they will get there by Christmas as well, or whatever other holiday you celebrate at this time of year. All right. And now on to the Meta Ray-Bans. So these look like Ray-Ban glasses, but notice that they have cameras up in the front of them. They also have a touchscreen on this side. I'm touching it right now, and I actually started up Sultans of Swing, which I actually asked it to play earlier. These have absolutely amazing quality, honestly. It plays over your ear, not in your ear, so there's tiny little speakers right here. If you have the Meta Quest 2 or 3, you know what I'm talking about. That strap has the little over-ear speakers that come out. It's got a microphone so it can hear you. Like I said, it's got a camera. It's got a little button up here so I can press once and take a picture. So I'll show you the picture that it took. And then if you press for a long press, it will show you that you're recording a video. Notice that it's flashing that little LED. I believe that that is a, notification to people around you that you are recording a video right now. I will insert the recording of this, so you'll see me looking at the camera and stuff like that, but I'll insert a recording so you can hear the quality of the voice. There's also a little tiny LED inside the glasses that you can actually see that shows that this is on as well. You can also push this button again to stop it, or I believe you can say, hey Meta, stop recording. So there you go. And it'll stop that way as well. And you can also say, hey Meta, please take a picture. and it takes a picture. And in addition to the button that takes a picture or records audio, there's also a nice little hidden switch over here. So you can press it on the side to play music or pause music, and you can slide it forward to increase volume, slide it backwards to decrease volume, and you can also double tap it to move forward a song if you're playing a song, or to hang up, or to accept a call. It will give you text messages. It will play text messages so you can hear them. It allows you to make phone calls and talk to other people on the phone call. I called my mom and she didn't know that I was on these, so I thought that was pretty cool. She didn't really notice any real audio difference between the Meta Ray-Bans and an in-ear headphone, so I thought that was pretty cool as well. So Meta has done a very nice job building these, and I think Luxottica has as well. They're of course the owners of Ray-Ban and every other glasses maker under the sun at this point. Talk about a monopoly. But anyway, I think they've done a good job. These look very good. I tend to like Wayfarer style anyway, but I think they've done a nice job. They're thick, but they're not ridiculously thick, and they're really nice for wearing around, and I don't think anybody would really notice unless you're taking a video or something like that and they saw the little white LED that was showing you were recording a video. But of course, the coolest part about this is you can say, "Hey Meta, what am I looking at right now?"
You're looking at a workspace with multiple monitors, lights, and various equipment. It appears to be set up for video recording or live streaming.
So there you go. I'm not sure exactly how loud that's going to be in the microphone, but I tried to let you hear it. I have another example that I recorded the audio for. The video is no good because basically I was holding the phone up right to my ear. So anyway, it'll just have a blank screen, but I'll show you another example here. Anyway, it'll just have a picture over it, but I will play you an example right here. "Hey Meta, what am I looking at?"
You are looking at a table with various items on it, including boxes, snacks, and plants.
"Hey Meta, play Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits."
Here's Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits.
So the quality of the sound is really good. The quality of the AI is substantially better than Apple. Apple really needs to up their game on this AI thing. It's a lot of fun to talk to, but of course it's only audio. It doesn't actually show anything in front of your eyes, unlike the Apple Vision, unlike the new Google glasses that just came out. Don't know if you can get those yet, but I will certainly be happy to test those as well if people are interested. Those will actually have little projections inside the glasses so you can actually see things as well as hear them. But I actually find this to be a fairly usable and serviceable product. It's kind of fun to walk around and be able to just instantly record something if you want to, or take a picture without having to grab your phone out of your pocket, all of that kind of stuff. Take a quick video. Records audio pretty decently well, records video pretty decently well. Not fantastic. It's certainly not as good as these guys because, you know, bigger lenses equal better images, but it does a pretty darn good job, honestly. And as for audio quality, it actually sounds really amazing. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. It honestly sounds about as good as these guys, and these are in my ears. So the downside to this, of course, is because it's not in your ears, people can hear it much more easily in a quiet environment, which makes it slightly oddball to wear them to be playing music in a quiet environment. Not so bad if it's noisy around because nobody will hear then anyway. And of course, these don't have active noise cancellation, so that is the downside as well. And finally, I really appreciate that Ray-Ban and Meta decided to make this the charging case. So basically you get a cloth with it as well, but you also get this little thing in here that it just pops down on and it just recharges. And this interior part here is the battery. So you don't have to have, and again, this is USB-C as well. You don't have to have a USB-C connection. You can just take the glasses with you and recharge as frequently as you want to. So a very similar concept to how the AirPods, are working. So really, really cool. And by the way, for these as well as the AirPods, they do tend to drain battery pretty quickly. You can almost with these see the battery actually going down live as you're wearing them. This is actually the MetaView app, and it's actually quite useful. It has a lot of controls in it, but generally speaking, this is designed to work with your voice, and it works really, really well. It's a voice first app, and it really works well with that. It's designed well. They're sort of leveraging the same sort of interface as Amazon's Alexa. It interfaces with you primarily through voice, although this has a camera which allows it to see the world. You can ask it about things. I mean, I find the ability for it to see the world and tell me about the world pretty cool. Haven't had a huge use for it yet, but Misinformation and I are going to the French Alps. We're going to Chamonix and then to Paris for Christmas to go skiing and then enjoy ourselves for a little bit of time, of course. But I think these will be particularly useful there because I will be able to walk by, let's say, a piece of architecture in Paris and say, describe this to me. Tell me what's going on here. What sort of historical information might be here? Or if we go into the Louvre or something and I look at a painting, I could say, can you tell me more information about this painting, and see if the Meta Ray-Bans actually can give me useful information about that. So I think that that'll be a really cool test. I don't know if it can do translations. Actually, I'll just go ahead and find out right now. Hey Meta, can you say I love you in French?
Je t'aime.
So there you go. It's able to do the translation. I don't know if it'll be able to hear other people. That'd be really cool. I mean, how cool would it be to be able to have this thing and the person's talking to you in French? And I do speak French, so it's not a problem for me. But let's say I went to Spain or something like that and I don't speak Spanish as well. But to have somebody speak at me and have me, Babelfish wise, like actually going ahead and translating it live, that would be very cool. I don't know if it will be able to do the same thing with signage as well, but I imagine it would. So hopefully what I can do is I can look at a sign in French. If I can't read all of it, I can actually ask it to translate that for me. So I think these will be really valuable use cases for this. Again, on a daily basis, it's not particularly useful unless I saw a flower or something that I didn't know and I wanted to ask about that, but it's a cool thing to have on hand. And like I said, I think these glasses look pretty decent. They don't look embarrassing like thick or huge or something. So I don't mind wearing these at all. And the fact that they're transitions, so they go between being clear indoors and having a nice dark green Ray-Ban sort of sunglasses look outdoors is very cool. So how much do these cost? They cost $400, but you can usually find a sale. We found a Black Friday sale at Sunglass Hut, so it was only $320, but still that puts it at somewhere around double what these AirPods G4 are. Neither one of these is particularly cheap, but the glasses are about double what the headphones are. So you got to keep that in mind if you're on a budget. It's probably the headphones are the way to go. Of course, if the geek in your life doesn't have an iPhone, then you're going to have problems buying them the Apple AirPods. They will work, but they won't work nearly as well with an Android phone as they do with Apple iPhones. The ecosystem is such that they all work together and they're much more tightly bound. The Meta Ray-Bans, on the other hand, of course, will work with Android or Apple. They don't care. The app works on both Android and iOS, so it's pretty much platform agnostic, and it should give you the same behavior on each of those. So after spending $500 of my own hard-earned money on these two products, and I did pay for both of these myself, so this is a very honest review, which one would I pick if I could only pick one? Well, I have to say that I would pick the Apple AirPods. The active noise cancellation is excellent. I use headphones constantly. I'm always in Zoom meetings. I'm always driving places on Zoom meetings. I'm at the gym trying to listen to YouTube videos because it's the only time I have to actually listen to videos and learn anything every day. I am taking a bunch of flights lately. So for my particular use case, the headphones are distinctly more useful than glasses. And of course, they're significantly cheaper as well. So I would definitely pick these headphones if that was the only thing I could pick. The Meta Ray-Bans, on the other hand, are much more fun. They feel much more futuristic. There's something that's more of a toy at this point. There's not as much real world use for them yet, but they're an awful lot of fun and I really enjoy wearing them and they feel super comfortable. So I don't mind the fact that I've paid for both of them. Yes, of course, it's going to suck that within 6 months or a year, there's going to be the next thing that I'll have to get instead. So, that's the problem with early adopters of technology. The cool part about the Apple AirPods, of course, is if you bought the Generation 2, Generation 3, whatever, you don't even have to buy the Generation 4 AirPods because the Gen 2, Gen 3 are very, very similar in quality. So I think Apple has stabilized more where you don't have to feel like you have to chase every single generation, whereas these, for the next couple of years, it'll be the Meta Ray-Bans version 2, it'll be the Google glasses, it'll be whatever, and so we can spend a ton of money chasing after the latest and greatest to get really cool new tech. But, probably 4 or 5 years from now, these things will have stabilized. We'll probably have vision stuff in here as well. But that's for another day. Should you purchase these glasses? If you already have the Apple AirPods, or if you have an Android phone, and of course, if you don't mind the extra budget, then I can really recommend these. I think they're a lot of fun to wear. They're super comfortable, and I really like them, and the sound quality is great, and they're useful. They're fun. You can take a little picture of these and go like, what is this thing, right? And so you can ask it. The one thing I would ask of Meta and Ray-Ban is to please not have "Hey Meta" be the catchphrase. Come up with something else. I mean, I know it needs a 3-syllable name, but Umberto or something, right? I would rather say something like that out in public than "Hey Meta." That sounds super lame to say that in public, so I'm kind of embarrassed to say that. On the other hand, you can set it up so you can tap it and trigger the AI, but it's kind of fun to be able to do that all hands-free. So kind of pick your poison. Do you want to have to say "Hey Meta" in public, or do you want to have to actually tap your glasses? You can do either way, whatever suits your fancy. Alrighty, folks, so that's what I've got. I love both of these products, but I think, again, that I would purchase purchase the Apple AirPods G4 over the Meta Ray-Bans at this point, just because it's a more useful product for me personally. For you, your mileage may vary. Definitely let me know in the comments what you think about this, especially if you've purchased one, or if you decide to go ahead and purchase one of these for the tech lover in your life, including yourself. Let me know what you think about it after you've purchased it. And of course, while you're down there, if you don't mind liking and subscribing, it would be amazingly helpful. That would be a wonderful Christmas present and an early birthday present. I'm going to turn 60 at the end of January. I would love to get to 100,000 subscribers by then, and you can help me with the simple click of a button. In the meantime, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.